guys, this is me Saloni Pandey and I welcome you all in my YT session Remark Me. As you guys understood that what is photosynthesis and what are the two stages of photosynthesis in the previous videos, if you haven't seen that sessions, then click the above icon button and watch those videos first. Today in this session I'm going to explain you what exactly is ATP, because ATP plays a very important role in the formation of energy, whether in photosynthesis or cellular respiration. So let's start with our today's session. Sometimes questions arises in your mind like what exactly is ATP? What is the role of ATP? So to understand the topic, let's begin with our session. That ATP is a nothing but it is a molecule. This is primarily energy currency of the cell. As you all know that ATP is known as the energy currency of the cell. It has an adenosine backbone with 3 phosphate group attached to each other. This line you will understand by the diagram of the ATP that I'll explain in the upcoming slides. ATP is breakdown into ADP and phosphate inorganic ion, and this breakdown of ATP into ADP and 1 phosphate inorganic ion is called hydrolysis. ATP is formed by the addition of 1 phosphate inorganic ion to ADP. ATP stands for adenosine triphosphate. Now come to the structure of ATP. As you can see over here, there is adenine. There is adenine that represented by the sky color, and that is written A in the sky box. That represents adenine. So what is adenine? Adenine is a nitrogenous base that is a part of DNA. As you already understood what is DNA. So adenine is a part of DNA. It is known as nitrogenous base. It is a part of nucleic acid, and there is written D, that is in the yellow color box, that is ribose sugar. Ribose sugar is a 5 carbon sugar. As you can see, there is the formula written of the ribose sugar, that is C5H10O5. It is a compound that is form of 5 carbon. So addition of adenine and ribose sugar will give you adenosine. Now there is 2 phosphate ions, that is the addition of 2 phosphate ions is known as diphosphate. Now this addition of 2 phosphate ions with ribose sugar and adenine, that gives you ADP. And when the 1 phosphate ion, as you can see in this diagram, that there is A, D and 3 phosphate group. There is A, D and double phosphate, and there is addition of 1 more phosphate, and this addition of 1 more phosphate gives rise to adenosine triphosphate. In the ADP there is only 2 phosphate. When the 1 phosphate, that is inorganic ion, when it is add to the ADP, then it gives rise to ATP. In ATP there is 3 phosphate inorganic ions. Now as you can see, when the ATP in the presence of water break down into ADP and inorganic phosphate ion, then this process is known as hydrolysis. What is hydrolysis? The breakdown of ATP in the form of ADP and 1 phosphate inorganic ion in the presence of water gives this process known as hydrolysis. Though this is the whole structure of ATP. When the addition of 1 phosphate into the ADP, 1 phosphate inorganic ion into the ADP gives rise to ATP. This structure is all about the ATP structure. Now come to see, as you can see over here, there is ADP, adenosine diphosphate, that it has no energy. As you can see in the left hand side, there is ATP, that is adenosine triphosphate, and there is 3 phosphate ions. And when this ATP breakdowns into ADP plus 1 phosphate inorganic ion, then the energy released in the form of inorganic phosphate ion. This is all concept of ATP is all about the inorganic phosphate ion. When the addition of 1 phosphate ion is taking place, then it forms ATP, and when ATP is breakdowns, that is known as hydrolysis taking place. When the hydrolysis is taking place, then 1 inorganic phosphate ion breaks down, and this breaking of 1 phosphate ion releasing the energy, and in this way we can get the energy. Now as you can see, this is ATP and ADP cycle. So what is ATP and ADP cycle? As you can see over here, there is ADP, that is adenine ribose diphosphate, that is adenosine diphosphate. And when there is only two phosphate ions, and when the addition of one phosphate ion is taking place into ADP, now there is formed ADP. There is formed ATP, that is an adenosine triphosphate, addition of three phosphate in the ATP. Now as you can see, this addition of phosphate into the ATP is taking place, then the energy is absorbing. Now when the breakdown of ATP is taking place, that is hydrolysis of ATP is taking place, then the energy is released in the form of phosphate inorganic ion. So in this process, in this cycle, as you can understand that how the role of one phosphate inorganic ion releasing and absorbing the energy from ATP and ADP. Now this is the whole process of ATP and ADP cycle. As you understand that what exactly is ATP, now come to the another point, that is adaptation of leaf for photosynthesis. As we already understood what is photosynthesis, but this is very important to understand what are the adaptation, how can a leaf, how the photosynthesis takes place in a leaf. So what are the things that leaf has, so that the photosynthesis is taking place in the leaves. So leaves is a very important part for the occurring of photosynthesis. Now come to understand what are the structure of leaves, so that it is adapt for photosynthesis. Now as you can see over here, this is the structure of leaf. Now how this structure help in releasing and absorbing the energy, so that this energy and the gain and the obtaining of food from the photosynthesis can be transported through this leaf. Now this structure gives a whole definition how this structure can help in the process of photosynthesis, in the gaining of energy, in the releasing of energy, in the transportation of food, how this is happening. Now come to see some adaptation of leaf. As you can see, the first point, that is large leaf surface area. First point, as you can see, there is large leaf surface area. The surface area of leaf is very much more in the comparison to the whole plant. So this surface area plays a very important role in the absorbing and gaining of energy and releasing of energy. If the surface area is more, then the energy can be transported very easily in a whole way, in a complete way. Now the second point is arrangement of leaf, arrangement of stem, leaves, branches, so that maximum light falls on them. As we see that in the more and more plants, in every plant, as we can say, in every plant on the earth, they absorb light, all the plant absorb light. So the structure of absorbing their light is in this way, so that they can get more and more energy from the sunlight. The arrangement of stem leaves in this way, so that they can get maximum light for the sun, and by gaining the sunlight they can do photosynthesis and all the process that they need for their living. Now third point is network of veins for rapid transport of substances to and fro. Now what are veins? As we also have veins, that is in blue in color in our body, through which blood is transported. Now you can see in leaf also there is white color structure. There is white color, as you can see, this white color structure is known as veins, and this veins vary, and this thinning of these veins help in the transportation of food, energy, water, whatever the need according to the plant. Now this also plays a very important role in the transportation of substances that is required for the plant. Fourth point is distribution of stomata for effective and rapid exchanges of gases. As we already understood what is stomata. So stomata plays a very important role in the exchanging of gases. As we can see in the photosynthesis, in the second stage, in the Calvin cycle, plant are absorbing chloroplast. In the chloroplast, Calvin cycle absorbing the CO2. So how this CO2 is coming into the leaves, into the chloroplast? This is with the help of stomata. The CO2 is gained by the chloroplast. So the exchanging of gases, that is whether it is CO2, whether it is oxygen, the exchanging of gases taking place from the stomata. So stomata plays a very important role in exchanging of gases, whether it is CO2 or oxygen or nitrogen. Now, fifth point is presence of more chloroplasts in the upper layer of the leaves. As we can see, as we can understand in the previous one, that there are mesophyll cells present in the mesophyll tissues that are present in the leaf structure. So in the mesophyll tissues there are more and more chloroplasts which help in the absorbing of light. So by absorbing the sunlight they can do photosynthesis. So presence of more chloroplasts, they have more chloroplasts, that's why they can do more photosynthesis and it help in the obtaining of plant and gaining of energy. Now sixth point, that is thin leaves to reduce distance from between cells for faster transport material. As you can see, this is leaf. The structure of this leaf is very thin. It is a blade shape. As you can see, there is written a blade. That leaf is very thin as comparison to the whole plant. As you compared one leaf with its stem, whether it is branches, then it is very thin, and this thinness of leaf is very important for the transportation of material. So the structure, as you can see, this is very important for the transportation of materials and transportation of energy, and the surface area that also helps in the transportation of material in a very easily way. So this structure is very important for adaptation of leaf for photosynthesis. So in this video we all understood that what the structure of ATP, what is ATP, and what are the adaptation of leaf for the photosynthesis. If you guys want PPT of this session, then join my Telegram channel. That link is given below into the description box. If this session is helpful for you, then hit the like button and subscribe my channel so that you will get notification of my upcoming sessions. Thank you.